Good morning, HMS 7. It's great to see our A group back here on Monday. Can't wait to see that B group on Tuesday. Again, let's reflect on the main purpose of Jumpstart, and that's to go over the 7 habits of highly effective teenagers. Most important thing to remember is a habit is something you repeatedly do. A habit is something that you work on. A habit is not something you're born with. There are good habits and there are bad habits. The main focus of Jumpstart is to focus on 7 good habits, habits that successful people practice. The most important one will always be being proactive. And if you recall and you reflect on that, being proactive is running into a problem and finding a solution. We move on to putting first things first. That's finding your big rocks and focusing on those, and then getting to your small rocks. Your big rock when you get to school is working on your academics, talking to your teachers if you need some extra help. Your small rocks, that's socializing with your friends. You're getting on your phone, playing on your Xbox. Those small rocks, they need to be last. Again, beginning with the end in mind is having an end goal in your life. It's not asking you to plan everything out in your life right now, but it is having that end goal in your life. We just finished up win-win, that philosophy of helping other people out to help yourself. We're moving on to seek first to understand and then to be understood. This is a habit that I'd like you to reflect on right now and what that actually means. What is habit number 5 asking you to do when they ask you to seek first to understand and then to be understood? Think briefly on that, reflect on that, what that actually means, and we'll get into that here shortly. Before we jump into that, I want you to continue to reflect on what that habit might mean. It's extremely important to practice those habits. And you have to practice those habits with a growth mindset. Practice those habits with a growth mindset. That growth mindset is that idea that your brain is like a muscle. It's something that you need to exercise. It's something that you need to practice with all the time, and it will grow and it will get better. And to do that, again, that's that time and effort, your first avenue that you should approach. Put that time, effort in every single day to practice a good habit. The second piece is, if you don't find yourself getting better day in and day out, please make sure you ask yourself questions. What could I try? Who could I work with? What else could I do? Most importantly, mistakes equal growth. Mistakes equal growth. I want you to reflect on that. Mistakes are the path to enlightenment. Think about that. Mistakes are okay. They're part of the growth mindset, understanding that we're all going to make mistakes. And the way you learn from a mistake is to reflect on it. Reflection is where that growth comes in. So just remember that as you're moving forward, and always have a purpose with what you're doing. We're going to move into the meat and potatoes of the next habit, habit number 5. This is a listening skill. Hopefully this habit is something that you try to practice on a daily basis, but many of us practice bad listening habits. First one's that fake listening. Pretending like you're listening. That LOL. Really funny, cool, yeah, cool, LOL, LOL. That's that fake listening, pretending like you're listening to somebody when you're really not. Also that spacing out, that selective listening, that probing, advising, and judging, that's not listening. Constantly getting probed. If you find yourself asking someone questions and they're not responding, they're not ready to talk. Stop asking questions. Let them reflect for a while. Well, you want to work on good habits, habits of good listening. The first one is listening with your eyes, your heart, and your ears. And we're only going to stay on that one right now. I want you to think just briefly why it is important to listen with your eyes, your heart, and your ears. I'm going to drop a little statistic here. 93% of listening is nonverbal. I want you just to let that sink in. 93% of listening is nonverbal. We communicate our message, for the most part, through our facial expression and through our body language and through our voice inflection. So again, 93% of listening is done nonverbally. Meaning when you're listening to somebody, pay attention to those other cues. It's also why it's important to put your phone away when you're having a conversation with someone, if you really want to hear what they're saying. Last piece I'll leave you with, and we'll work on the rest of this and talk about the rest of this throughout the month of February. And I find this to be very interesting. Try not to be a negative Nancy. They did this research, discovered that if you listen to 30 minutes of negative comments. It actually hurts the problem-solving part of your brain. It hurts your problem solving. Don't be a negative Nancy. Stay positive. Understand those mistakes are important. Last but not least, shared with you from my Google Classroom is a reflection sheet on listening. I'd like you to do that. The third one's one of my favorite. People watch once in a while. See what they do. Don't talk. People watch and see how they communicate with each other. And what did you observe there? Again, listening to others, one of the most valuable skills you can have, one of the most valuable habits you can develop. And you're not born with it. All of us can do it, and all of us can do it well. It's great to see you guys back here on a Monday. Can't wait to see our group on Tuesday. We'll continue to work on practicing good listening. Love you guys. We'll see you around.